Hi, welcome back to Book Buzz with Jan and Payne, a podcast where we talk about romance books, our current reads, and we also have the pleasure of sitting down with some of our favorite authors and chatting with them about their amazing books. For today's podcast, we're just going to be talking a little bit of what we've read for the last couple of weeks, and we're going to be talking a little bit about what we're going to be doing for the rest of the year and what's coming up. So sit back, grab some coffee, and we hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Let me start off by saying that guess what I started reading today?
Daphne's Will and Nash.
I finished reading those Saturday, but no, I started reading because I forgot to take, okay, side note. I was reading a book last night, but I forgot to take the paperback to work. So I was like, let me, download the sample of this book that I've been wanting to read. I started reading The Viscount Who Loved Me, Bridgerton, book 2.
Oh, okay.
It's so sad. I'm at the part where their dad dies, and I'm like, I was literally at work teary, and I started reading that. So,
wait, their dad didn't. Was that a flashback, or was their dad still alive, or what? I'm confused because in first book, I thought their dad already died.
Yeah, so it goes back. So the way book 2 starts, it's explaining Anthony's story to where how he was the firstborn, how he was really close to his dad. So it does go back like a flashback.
Okay.
So it explains how he was really close to his dad and then what happened to his dad. Because I don't think in book 1 they explained what happened to him.
Oh yeah.
And there's something, the way he dies, I'm not going to spoil it for you because I want you to read it. The way he dies, there's a certain thing that now makes sense. And I was like, that's why people were talking about this. I get it. But yeah, that's where I started. I'm like, what percent am I? I'm like 14%. So I'm like I just started. But I started that tonight just because I didn't have my other book. But I did last night. I read Hooked by Emily McIntyre, and that book has been all over my Instagram feed. Like, I love the cover, so I was like, let me buy it. So I bought it because I read the blurb. Hook, if you don't know what it is, it's a retelling of Peter Pan. But there's a twist on here that I'm not gonna say in case anybody reads it or in case you read it later on, but it's really good. I literally was up to 4 a.m. reading. I think I have like 10% left. So I'm almost done. So I read that. I'm loving it. It's so good. It was like, girl, I was in the edge of my seat, like come on, like I want them to meet, because in this one, Huck is, I mean, if you watch Peter Pan, the kid movie, Huck is the villain.
Yeah.
And I haven't read like the original, the true story of Peter Pan, but apparently Peter Pan's like the villain in the actual story, but they made it to where Peter Pan, in the kid version, Hook is the villain. But in this one, Peter Pan is the villain and Hook is the hero. So I was very intrigued. So I read that. It was really, 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 really good. It's sexy. It's dark. It's very intriguing. So if you like those sort of books, you'll definitely like this one. I love him. He's like so mysterious, so tough, so dark. I love it. I also read, like you said earlier, I read the 3 novellas, the Christmas novellas by Will and Nash, which is The Naughty, the Nice, and the Nanny, which is the first one. Loved that one. Everybody needs to read these in time for like Christmas. That one is, who doesn't love a rich hero with single dad that falls in love with the nanny? Perfect. And then I also read 3 Bells, 2 Bows, and 1 Brother's Best Friend. First of all, okay, I don't know if it was just me, but I didn't realize that this little novella trilogy was about the brothers until I started reading the book.
Girl,
I know.
she announced it that there were 3 brothers.
I don't know what happened. Like, my mind hasn't been all there. So I was reading it. I was reading the first book. And I was like, oh, I really hope we get like the brothers book. And then I get to the second one. I was like, that's the brother. And then I looked at the blurb for the third one. I was like, that's the other brother.
Oh my goodness.
And then the third one is the Patriot and a Pregnancy. Loved it. You know, surprise pregnancy. Who doesn't love a surprise pregnancy? So I read those. They're very cute, but they're very like, they're not a full-length novel, but they do have a complete story. So it doesn't feel rushed. It doesn't feel short. It doesn't feel like it's missing anything. It actually feels like it's perfect. And Daphne/Willa did an amazing job writing these holiday novellas. I loved it. Like I said, like I told, I think the first one's my favorite. But then again, I love A Single Dad book. I think those have to be my top. Single Dad, Nanny. Yes. But the third one's actually, the surprise pregnancy one was actually pretty good too. But I loved it. I don't like, I don't know why. My attention never goes to holiday books.
You know, I don't really think there's that much holiday books.
Recently it has though. I feel like for like the last 2 years, maybe it was because of COVID, I feel like there's so many holiday books coming out now.
I feel like they're just mainly novellas, and they're not really a full blown, like a long thick book where it's just mainly focused on holiday. I don't know. It might just be because I'm not really drawn into it. Maybe because it's too Hallmark for me.
Yes, I don't know. Like, they don't catch my attention. So I don't know. Like we've mentioned before, Willa and Ash / Daphne Perry is a must read for us. So I was like, fudge it. I'm just gonna read it. I know I'm gonna love it, and they're phenomenal. Like, it literally, they're short novellas, but they're long enough to give you a whole story. I really want to know what your favorite is, and then I want to know what you think. So keep me posted when you read it. I also read Well Played by V. Keelan and Penelope Ward. Loved it. I love the cover. I love their covers. Like, they're always so sexy, and it's just like perfect. So I read that one is a single mom. Not a single mom. I take it back. It's a divorced mom.
Okay.
She ends up taking over you could say like a hotel or like a inn place her son inherited by her ex's grandpa. But half of the shares were left to, again, her son, but also to her ex's brother.
So the hero is the ex's brother.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was very intriguing. I loved it. It was sexy because it's like she falls in love with her ex-brother-in-law. Put it so it's not too exy for you or anybody. It's like ex-brother-in-law. So it was very, I was curious to how that was going to work out, and it kept me on the edge of my seat because the hero, he is gold. He's literally gold. He's like so sweet, and when he like admits and he actually caves into what he feels, it's, you just want to like love him and protect him. And the heroine, I was just like, what the fudge is going through your head? Like, you're hurting him. And it's, again, I think most of the times we side with the hero. So I was very, like, I was curious to how that was going to work out because the heroine's ex is still alive. So, and he's the hero's brother. So I was curious to how that was going to work out, and it was perfect. Love it. I love when they co-write.
You know, I don't think I've read any of their books when they co-write. Like, I have their books on my TBR list, but I don't think I've read any yet.
I love them. They're very, I guess because you get a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
You see, like, it's just very intriguing. It's sexy. And
Mm-hmm.
the heroes are always like these alpha, sexy heroes that will make you like swoon.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely pick up their books. There's one, I forgot which one it was, but I remember
Mm-hmm.
there was one that I read earlier this year because I was reading their backlist of both of them
Mm-hmm.
together. Oh, it was so cute. Actually, let me look for it. Let's see. Oh, Rebel Air. It was really good, and the Playboy pilot was really good too. I love their co-writes. Love, love, love. Um, I also finished The Calamity by Jennifer Milliken.
Mm-hmm.
Say it. Sorry if I got it wrong. Okay, so I think I spoke a little bit earlier, like in the podcast below, how I thought it was gonna go,
Mm-hmm.
and let me say that it did not go how I thought it was gonna go. It was perfect. I thought I had found my favorite brother because this series is 4 books, 3 brothers, 1 sister, and
Mm-hmm.
I literally thought I had found my favorite sibling. No,
Mm-hmm.
like the fourth one, the Heron's Jessie,
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Like I love this book. It was a very like mysterious, suspenseful, heart touching, and the way she wrote it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spoil much, but all I can say is that the reason there was something that was hidden from the heroine and the hero that when the truth came out, I cried. I legit cried. And then because we see a little bit also when I read the third book of the series, the author did put in there that the heroine and the hero from book 1
Mm-hmm.
had a kid, but the
Mm-hmm.
kid was having like he couldn't hear. He was having hearing issues. Not issues, sorry, hearing problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very curious to how she was gonna portray that, like how she was gonna write about that, because I've never actually read a book to where they add that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And how she wrote it in the fourth book, because you still see bits and pieces of the other characters.
Uh-huh.
And then the hero from the fourth book played a big role in that whole situation to where, their kid couldn't hear and all of that issues that they were going through. Oh, I cried. It was like heart touching. I loved it. She wrote a phenomenal book. And if you love a small town with suspense and that family vibe,
Mm-hmm.
definitely pick up the series. It's phenomenal. You're going to love it. I think we spoke a little bit about getting real, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know we both finished it. Girl, I love that book.
I do too.
Loved it. I was curious to how she was going to like write it just because he is a doctor and she's a nurse.
Yeah.
So I was very curious. I love that whole series, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm debating which couple I like more, like getting schooled or getting real, because getting real, they had all the feels.
Yes.
And I feel that the way she wrote it, I love the kids. I love those kids. And I think I
Yes.
told you, they remind me of what is it? TL Swans.
Yeah. The three sons from
Yeah.
the takeover.
Yes, they reminded me of them. And it was like they were different. Don't get me wrong, they were like completely different. But they reminded me of them, and it made me want to reread that book because that book was so good. But yeah, I mean, there's 3 kids, single dad,
Yeah.
and she's a nurse, which I find her very like.
She's very quirky.
That's what I was gonna say. Yes, like when she sees him at. Spoiler alert. There's a scene where they bump into each other, like at the beginning of the book. If
Yeah.
and she like has like this out of nowhere accident just because she's distracted by him. I could not stop laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm thinking back now, and I think I said it in the podcast too. Like there's a scene that I cried when I read it, but now I think about it and it makes me laugh. And I was like, he's so stupid. And I think I think you know which scene I'm talking about.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
But it was like I loved it. I laughed. and I don't do a lot of rom-coms, but I love this one. I love Emma and how she writes this series. But it was hilarious. Like, it was really cute. I know that it came out in audio. I want to listen to the audio. I don't do audios, but
I kind of did. I kind of listened to it last week when it came out. I got the audio and I listened to it, but I got sidetracked, and then I stopped listening to it because I was busy at work, and then I ended up reading instead of listening to the audiobook because I'm at work. I'm not gonna listen to the audiobook at work.
And to be honest, I don't know how people, and no offense to them, it's just me.
Yeah,
how they're like, I listen to it while I'm cleaning, but to me, I would get so distracted with cleaning that I would not pay attention to the audiobook.
Yes.
So I would have to, like, I want to listen to it. I am gonna listen to it. I have to do it when I'm doing absolutely nothing, because I get really easily distracted.
Yeah, I was actually editing for my Bookstagram, and then while listening to it, because I feel like that I can actually pay attention while someone's reading, but I still find it pretty funny while listening to the audiobook.
Really?
Like I still laugh, but not as much as when I'm reading it myself. Yeah.
Audiobooks for me, I don't know, like, they seem very interesting, but it's not something that catches my attention.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because I prefer to read it. I prefer to, like, I feel that you get more emotion for me. I feel like I get more emotions, and I feel what I feel when I'm reading a book if I'm reading it, not listening to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm gonna download it and I'm gonna listen to it because Getting Real was amazing. I know we're back in the ebook releases January, so make sure you check that out. But in the meantime, listen to the audio. Hilarious. What else did I read? I feel like that's it. Oh, I also read Meet Me Under the Mistletoe, the Gianna little thing with Elena and Dante. I love it. It was so cute. I missed them. I like literally have forgotten how much I love them, and it was like they were so cute together.
Yeah. I was like, I need more Dante and Elena.
Yes, they're like the way he loves her. It was like I loved it. It was very short, and I was like, I kept looking every time I would turn the page. I'm like, no, I'm almost done.
Yes.
Very, very, very cute. I did also read Beautifully Broken Redemption by Catherine House. It is a marriage of convenience. And I remember when she first announced that it was a marriage of convenience, I was like, hands down, love it, send it, I'm ready. Because who doesn't love a marriage of convenience?
Yeah.
Like and it was the Sutter Lake series was what introduced me to Catherine. And I love her writing. I love the series. This book was I literally messaged her, and I like the prologue, I was already crying because I felt so bad for the heroine. Like I was sentimental, or I don't know what the heck was going on with me, but I was legit crying. I was like, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. And I loved it. It was very good. I'm not gonna give anything away. All I'm gonna say is that the hero, Catherine writes the sweetest heroes ever.
Yeah.
Like where are these guys in real life? Where? I need one.
They're nowhere.
Like it was so like I loved him. He was so caring, and he was there for the heroine when like she was the type of heroine who she had been through a lot. So for her to accept help from someone, it was very hard. That he was there for her no matter what. He would have to push her in order for her to accept his help, and it was like he just never gave up on her no matter how hard things were. He was always there for her. I was crying. I'm not even. I'm not gonna get into it. I don't want to like spoil it. I read that and Bad Cruise by 𝐅𝐨𝐥𝐥𝐵 too.
Yes.
Loved it. Perfection. I cried. Oh my god. Favorite heroine of 𝐅𝐨𝐥𝐵 to date. And that is all I'm gonna say about that. Zip, zip, zip. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, that's all I've read. And like I said, I'm reading the second Bridgerton book right now. I'm gonna finish Hook today. I really want to read, like, no, I'm not gonna read what I have on my TBR. I'm gonna finish the Casanova. I'm gonna finish it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's gonna be my next book.
You keep saying that, and
it's been like 2 months and I'm still on page 6.
Yes.
I blame it on March, but no, it's like right here.
I think I'll text you tomorrow and see, did you bring it with you to work?
Well, I get off work early tomorrow, so I'm definitely gonna read it.
Well, you should bring it with you to work too.
Girl, get fired. No, this is my go-to after I finish Hook. The Bridgerton one, I'll probably put it on hold until I finish this one.
Yeah.
But no, definitely my main focus is the Casanova this week. I also want to start Emily McIntyre's Small Town series. I bought those books when Target was having a buy 2 get 1 free sale.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, let me get this series. I heard really good reviews on it, so I'll read them and I'll let y'all know how they are. And yeah, and that's all I've read. Ask me next week how far I am in the Casanova.
No, I'm gonna text you tomorrow to see how far. Let's see. For me, so I don't know if you guys saw my Bookstagram page, but I legit said this duet, The Fisherman Duet by Jewel E.N, is my favorite read of 2021. I think it's because I can really relate to that duet, so it's my favorite. Like, I cried like crazy. I bawled. I really seriously can't tell you how many tissues I needed for that book, for those 2 books. And I really didn't know that book 2 was gonna go the way how it was going. Because you know how the title says, The Lost Fisherman. I was like, what in the world? Why is he lost? What the heck happened? And then when you read it, it's like, no, oh my gosh, my heart. I seriously love Fisher. But like I said, I love Reese more. Like, I know tons of people hated Reese. They're like, no, I don't understand her. Like people didn't love Reese, but I totally love Reese because I can totally understand her. So I love Reese. But Fisher, he is like, I don't know what Jewel, like, I don't know how she does it. I don't know who inspires her to write these kind of heroes, but I seriously swooned right and left with Fisher.
Everything like, that was out of his mouth was like, I was
like, oh, just thinking, like, I still think about them and I still get teary eyes. I was like, my couple of the year, seriously, couple of the year. Reese and Fisher. Oh. So now, tell me what you think of her.
I think, I mean, after I read book 2, it was, because I know when I read book 1, I told you that she was very selfish and she was like, I didn't get her. But then the more you read about her, it's like, I think everybody is different. And like you said, we all grieve, we all handle things differently, which I get it. And I felt bad for her because she was lost. Me, I felt like she was just lost and she needed to find herself. And I feel like at the end of when I finished the book, I was like, I get it. Like, I haven't been through what she has, but like, there's some stuff where like, things happen and you lose yourself and you're trying to find your new what's gonna make you you.
Yeah.
That's how I felt for her. I felt bad. I love Fisher. He's loved him. So he's my favorite one. But I like her more in like after I finished the second book, because I get it. Like she wasn't annoying. I didn't feel annoyed by her after I finished book 2. I would get mad. And I was like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
like when I first started the book 2, I was like, girl, no. But it's like,
Yeah.
I get it. I get where like her mindset, I get where she was at, and I get why she did what she went out and did. But
yeah.
I love them. Like those two were, I think it's like they had to find themselves before they could be together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's good, because if they didn't, they would have been a lot of what ifs in their relationship.
Yeah.
So that's where I liked her.
Yeah.
Love him. I wasn't as mad at her as I was in book 1.
Okay.
He's my favorite though.
I know. Fisher. See, like I seriously said, all of Jewel's heroes, I love all of them. I think Fisher is hands down my favorite from her.
There was something about him that was just so, I don't know, like I'm gonna say pure,
yeah,
and unique, and it's like I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it. But
yeah,
he has to be my favorite hero of hers, though.
Yeah. Yep. You've read When a Place Without You, right?
No.
Somehow you haven't read
the blue one?
Yeah, the blue one.
No.
Because somehow I kind of feel like those two books, it kind of gave me the same vibes, because she needed to find herself also for A Place Without You. So it kind of gave me the same vibes, but oh my gosh.
No, I have the book. I haven't read it though. I know you can tell me to read it.
Yes, I need you to read it. I need to know if you're gonna cry or not, because I cried in almost.
I don't want to read it.
But did you cry for the fisherman duet? Oh, you did? Okay.
I don't know if I cried because I was sad or because I was mad.
Okay, well, because I cried for all of Jewel's books, so maybe you'll probably cry for A Place Without You too. But I love that duet. Pick up that duet if you guys haven't read it. It's a must read. And also read Getting Real by Emma. And I don't know if we talk about Indigo Ridge yet. Did we talk about Indigo Ridge yet? No, right? Okay, well, Indigo Ridge just went live yesterday. Yes. So if you guys didn't know, Daphne have a new series out, The Edens. It's based on the Edens family, and they're from Quincy, Montana. And everything about this book is perfection. You guys know we love Daphne. We are Daphne stans. So yes. Yeah, so everything she writes we love. So Indigo Ridge is definitely a must read. Also, you don't really need to know what happens, you just need to pick it up, because
and there's a cameo in there that I was like, oh. I remember when I read it, I messaged her, I was like, no, you did not.
Wow.
I love it. That book, and like I read it a couple months ago, that book is everything. Like it has to be my favorite book of Daphne's to date. Like Griffin is just, I loved him. And when he was mad, I was like, he's so sexy. Like,
wow.
I loved it. There was something about like the suspense, the sexual tension, the the chemistry, everything was so perfect. And there's a scene in there that with when they realize who they are, I was like, whoa. It was like I loved it. I love Talon. Like I told Daphne, like this has to be my favorite book of hers to date.
Mhm. Mhm.
Love the covers, but I'm so excited for the second one.
Yes. Mhm.
Like single mom. Yes.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like
Definitely.
I'm so excited. And it was very funny because when she announced this book and how she was gonna be a sheriff,
Mhm.
if you've read the what is it? Coppersmith Farmhouse,
Mhm.
he
Yeah.
is in that book, he's the sheriff and she's, the
Yeah.
one in charge of the farm, etc.
Mhm.
And this is like the tables turn. She's a
Yeah.
sheriff. He's the owner of what the place where things keep happening.
Mhm.
And it's very, I don't know, I find like the way she wrote him was very he was very swoony.
Yeah.
Like if that makes sense. Like this like even like mad at her or he didn't want to like there's a scene where something happens and she has to go investigate or whatever, and he's
Mhm.
there and he's like just barking at her like don't do this, don't do that, and I'm just like, oh, why am I finding this so sexy and so like perfect? And I love him, and it's like I don't know, it kept me on the edge of my seat.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it's not too much suspense to where it takes
Mhm.
you from the romance. It's
Yeah.
the suspense that's gonna have you
Mhm.
wanting answers,
Mhm.
but you're also gonna get that romance vibe.
Yeah. Let's see another book, Dangerous Temptation by Jana Darling, also released yesterday. And that book, oh my gosh, I really don't know what to say besides Gianna seriously is, I think I've said it a lot of times, the queen of age gaps.
Yeah.
Like seriously, hands down, the queen. When we first met Tiernan in Untamed by Molly O'Keefe, he made a small appearance in the third book. And I seriously think he was the cruelest of the Morelli brothers. I thought Leo was the beast because you know how he was the beast of Bishop Landing. I thought he was going to be the worst, but I seriously think Tiernan is the worst. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like him because he was really mean. And I was like, I don't know. But when they have that bad dream, which it's the first 5 chapters of Dangerous Temptation, and I read, I was like, he is very intriguing. And then I read that small short story where Meet Me Under the Mistletoe.
Anthology?
Yeah, that from the anthology. And then I was like, I am really intrigued because, he is friends with Dante. So, and we love Dante. So it was like, there's no way he's a bad guy. He's friends with Dante. Dante's friends with him. Even though Dante is the mafia couple, but
Mm-hmm.
But yes, and so Dangerous Temptation, he's pretty much the black sheep in the Morelli family. And so he is looking for something to bring down the Constantine for him to gain his spot in the Morelli family. And so he found, everyone knows Caroline, right? Caroline is that crazy lady. Well, anyways, Caroline's husband has a mistress, and the mistress is Bianca's mom. And so Bianca and her brother, they are the bastards, considered bastard kids of the Constantine. Tiernan became the guardian of Bianca and her brother. And oh my goodness, I seriously think the sexual tension was, oh my goodness. The slow burn was crazy. But I love Tiernan. I am hands down a Tiernan fan. Now, see, I really think the Morellis are better than the Constantine.
He was very mysterious. I liked him.
Mm-hmm. But I think the Morellis, the heroes are broken. Which I think that's why I'm so drawn to the Morellis. Because the Constantine, they're just very powerful alpha heroes. They're not broken. But I love both, but I think I'm still leaning towards the Morellis. Well, anyways, y'all should read it, even though the cliffhanger is killing all of us.
Girl. Yeah, that is true.
Yep. So yeah, that's also one book that I read. And yes, I got a copy of Bad Cruise early also. And oh my goodness. Like there is something about LJ Shin's standalones that I think it touches me more than, even though the series are all standalones, but for standalones, those I feel like it touches me more. And I love this one so much. Oh my gosh. I feel really bad for the heroine. I love her.
I cried, girl. I legit cried. I was like, assholes.
Yes. But I seriously say Cruise is definitely swoon worthy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read after Bad Cruise. I feel like I was kind of in a slump for like 2 to 3 days. And then I picked up Bombshell by C.D. Reese.
Mm-hmm.
But I picked up that one. That one, she's a nanny. He's a single father. He's a Hollywood star single father. He had a one night stand and the mom hid the baby from him for like 5 years or so. And then she died in a car accident. And so the baby just ended up in front of him. It's like, here's your baby. And so he needed a nanny to watch over the baby. And so I feel like at times he is very immature in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but I still enjoyed the book. I have to say, I feel it was quite a slow burnish, but when it picked up, oh my gosh, it is fire. This is my first book by her, so I really enjoyed it. And then after that, I was like, should I read more books from a TBR or should I just go and finish my arcs? Because if I don't finish it, I'm gonna get more arcs and then I will be totally behind. So I started Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy. And this book is not even releasing until next year.
Mm-hmm.
But
January, right?
yeah. But I'm reading it and it's a new adult romance. And you guys know I love the Briar You series by Elle Kennedy. She's a rich girl and he's a poor boy. Poor, I guess you. She's rich and he's poor. Okay, he's not a boy, but yeah, you get what I mean. And I'm not gonna say why. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but I am loving the book so much. Like it still gives me the same vibe from her hockey series, even though there's no hockey. But I really enjoyed it. I am so excited for all the other books. Like there are so many characters in here that I don't know how many books she's gonna have in this series. So I am excited. I am 70% done with the book. So I'm taking my sweet time, and then 3 new arcs showed up on my Kindle. So now I kind of have to hurry up and read it because all these arcs are releasing really fast. I better hurry up and finish it.
Which arcs are they?
I got Beautifully Broken Redemption 2 days ago. I still need to read the 4th book though before I read this one. So I have to read the 4th book, and then I just got The Italian Sun by 𝐅𝐨𝐥𝐥𝐨𝐰, that one, and I also got A Not So Cute Meat by Megan Quinn. I'm so excited for the Megan Quinn one. I love that cover. Did you see the cover?
Yeah.
With the Cupid, and he's on that. I think he looks so good. The model, I died. I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I love it. Well, that's all I've read these past few weeks.
Oh, I forgot to say, I also reread The Senior because I had read it a couple weeks ago, like a month ago or something like that. But she changed some stuff when she was editing it. Loved it. Eli and Ava are goals. love. I love that whole series. Like I love them. And it feels weird that it's over because they were in the previous series. So it's literally like if you're growing up with them. And I love that series. Like Monica writes young adults. Like she is literally, I think right now, the only young adult author that I read. I don't know. I love Eli and Ava so much.
So for that one, are they in college now? Okay. Because the first series, they're high school.
Yeah.
And the freshman, the sophomore,
in college,
junior, senior in the college. Okay. So that is more new adult romance, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. Because it is, I would recommend reading the previous series just because the stuff they go through, you understand more. Because they weren't enemies to lovers in the previous series. And then for you to know what happened to them, you're like, need to suffer with them. Because if you just read the scene, like if you start with the freshman and then you get to the senior, you're gonna be like, oh, they just broke up. But if you read the previous series and you know how everything that happened to them, it's gonna hurt. I cried when I finished the junior. The junior. I legit, like, I was crying. I messaged her. I was like, I cannot, you evil woman. I cannot believe we went this whole pain in the previous series. $2 because they had $2.
Yeah.
And now you broke them up again. But yeah, but I really, really love that book. It hurts because a lot of stuff happens and it's just, but it was really good. But yeah, all I've read.
I guess we will be going to what we're going to do for the rest of the year on our podcast.
Like I mentioned earlier, we are like nothing away from the new year. So we are, for the rest of the year, we are going to have 3 more author interviews. One is it's coming up next weekend. That's with Monica Murphy, which we're going to be talking about so much stuff. The senior, because I have so much beef with her and what she put Eli and Ava through, and then Diego and so much more. And then we have 2 more authors. The second author that we're gonna have in November, we're gonna announce next week.
Yes.
So keep an eye on that. We're very excited for that one. And then we're gonna have 1 author in December. Next year, we're probably going to try to do 1 author a month instead of maybe 2 a month. So it's just going to be 1 a month. Yeah. And we are still looking into inviting a bookstagrammer to chat with us and decide a topic on our podcast. So we're going to look through that and then we're going to reach out to somebody, whoever messaged us, and we're just going to go from there. But yeah, so it's going to be for the rest of the year. For the remaining of the year, is going to be 3 more authors, counting Monica, and then 1 bookstagrammer. And we do have some giveaways coming up too. We did close a Gianna one this weekend. We'll look through those entries because it was a lot. So we'll look into that and then we'll announce the winner soon. And then we have, I believe we have 2 more giveaways for the rest of the year, I think. One of them is a signed book and the other one's a signed book plate, but it's going to have some goodies. So keep an eye on that. I'm very excited. I might keep it. I really like the goodies. And we, like I said, keep an eye on the bookstagrammers because we are going to pick one. The bookstagrammer is going to pick the topic of our podcast and it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And I cannot believe, I was looking at our history of when we started the podcast and girl, we're getting close to a year.
I know, which is crazy.
How the heck did that happen?
Seriously, time seriously flew by and I did not realize it. I was like, wait, October is almost over.
I know.
Like, oh my gosh, crazy.
Yes, it's crazy. Like, I can't believe this year has been tough, but it's been a roller coaster.
Yes.
But, thank goodness for books and
Mm-hmm.
authors to take the time to give us these amazing books.
Yes.
So, but yeah, so that's what's coming up. If you guys do have any questions for us, just let us know. Like I said, we are gonna be announcing on our next November author interview next week. I'm very excited for that one. And then there's some authors that I cannot wait to have next year. There's a lot that I want to reach out to, and I can't wait. I don't want to say, I don't want to jinx it, but I know one of them, paying would kill me, but I'm not going to tell her. Watch, I'm going to like book it, and then she's going to show up and do this podcast, and then the author is going to be right there.
Like, I think we talked about this already. I was like, but the time will give me the clue. So go ahead, surprise me. I think I'll know.
You know, you won't.
Yes,
I always lie to you, remember? I always tell you stuff.
I know. You're like seriously a huge liar.
No.
Like, I don't think I've ever lied to you, and you were always lying to me.
No,
like, every single time.
Because
yes.
I don't want to spoil stuff for you.
Heck no. I asked you, you're like, yes, spoil it for me. Just pull out the Band-Aid. And now when I ask you, you're like, oh no, don't worry, it's okay. And I was like, girl, and you're like, I want you to feel how I feel. That is so not right.
I want you to like feel the emotions. Okay, so I'm doing this for you.
Even when I read it, even if you tell me, I think I'll still feel the emotion. So yeah.
But it's coming. Next year's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, and I know we're gonna have some book signings. Me and Pei are gonna see each other hopefully several times next year. I know for sure Love in Vegas. Hopefully you come to Book Bonanza. Crossing my fingers.
Yes.
And we shall see what happens. Yeah, so it's gonna be very interesting next year. So we're still gonna be doing this, and there's something I really want to do next year that I'm crossing my fingers it happens, but we shall see. But yes, so if you guys have any questions for us, just let us know. Next week we are gonna have Monica Murphy with us. If you guys have any questions for her, we did put a post on our Instagram. Our handle is at Book Bus Podcast, where you could submit any questions for her, or you can DM them to us and we'll ask her. It's going to be really fun, and we'll talk about what's to come in her writing journey. I'm so excited. You guys don't want to miss it. Get ready, because next week, like I mentioned earlier, we are going to announce our next author. So that's going to be interesting.
Yes.
But we'll see you guys next week, and we hope you all have a good rest of your week. Read a lot. I promise I'm gonna finish the Casanova. I promise.
Yes.
It is my goal for the week. So I'm gonna read this, and we'll talk about this next time, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.